Let the evolution begin. Theory of evolution began when the first human cell came to life and a general sense of consciousness was embedded in the modicum of each brain cell. It became as if an intuitive need of human life that engendered it to progress from the proper use of land, water, and fire to now, prepossessing and magnificent spacecraft. It wasn't long until people started to see the real wisdom behind Darwin's theory of evolution, and soon enough, Elon Musk became the evolution Elonution. The conquest to seek the convenience of lifestyle has always been a top-tier priority. Whatever prism one views it from, lifespan, industries, genetics, productivity and liberation, climatic changes, peace and happiness, and of course the technological breakthroughs, the world has advanced. There's a need to change the unsustainable and primitive ways we power our lives. The need for evolution is inevitable by forces of nature, but also by dreamers and visionaries who don't spin their wheels stressing about problems, but instead find solutions. One of these solutions is Elonution. How does one man have so much influence on the future of 7,753 billion people in the world? And how can NASA possibly threaten or support Elon's vision of shaping the world? Keep on watching to find out what the future looks like. The British naturalist Charles Darwin spent 20 years refining his ideas of the evolution of human life. His evolutionary mechanism highlighted the very important principle of struggle for existence. From this premise, it compelled humans to pursue evolution and consciousness. Understanding the importance of Darwinism, Elon Musk said, "Darwin will always be there, it will just be a different arena." Thus, the theory of Darwin is well implemented in the fields of virtual reality and to further extensive space arenas. In the contemporary world we live in, where even the UFOs are just a fragment of human imagination, Magic 2 is just another misinterpretation of mankind. This leaves consciousness explaining the existence of SpaceX, the vision of Elon Musk, or the collaboration of NASA with SpaceX. According to Musk, consciousness is a physical phenomenon that will continue forever. Becoming a multiplanetary species or ensuring that life is multiplanetary will simply increase the scale of consciousness and provide a better understanding of the nature of the universe, Musk suggested. Thus, consciousness gives an explanation of the ongoing space missions and the combat between space institutions. In the 1960s, the two Cold War adversaries, America and the Soviet Union, competed against each other for supremacy in space. The competition, known colloquially as the space race, created history by making exemplary discoveries about space. The first human on space and the moon. Today, the gap of discovery in space has been filled by private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin. So, what is SpaceX? Founded in 2002 by the visionary billionaire Elon Musk, SpaceX is an American aerospace manufacturer that mastered the art of innovation and led human exploration beyond space dimensions. SpaceX has always been the brainchild of Musk, who was an inspiration for Robert Downey Jr., the actor who played Tony Stark or Iron Man in Marvel. So SpaceX consistently strived to alter the economics and dynamics of the aerospace industry. In 2007, the company posted 18 successful launches, setting a high benchmark for NASA, Air Force, and the US National Reconnaissance. In addition to this, SpaceX has been successful in creating a reusable rocket, sending a car into space, launching satellites into orbit, delivering 22,700 pounds of supplies to the International Space Station, and now a partnership with NASA which will make SpaceX the first private company to take humans to the International Space Station. The questions posed by this partnership are far from the themes of human benefit and evolution, rather it's towards the prospects of NASA and SpaceX. The benefits NASA intends to draw out of this partnership involve an insurmountable mystery. Why is NASA paying a private company to launch its astronauts into space? The answers to the proposed queries are found by going back almost 20 years ago to a tragedy that changed NASA forever. In 2003, the Space Shuttle Columbia exploded over Texas and Louisiana while returning from its 28th mission, only 16 minutes before it was scheduled to land. As a result, all 7 crew members aboard were killed. On the 14th of January 2004, President George W. Bush announced the retirement of the Space Shuttle after the completion of the International Space Station. Eventually, the Space Shuttle fleet retired in 2011. However, the investigations concerning the Columbia spaceship disaster continued, and an off-center persona of NASA was brought out of the shadows when it was determined that a large piece of foam from the shuttle's external tank breached the spacecraft wing. Further investigations concluded that NASA was aware of the foam problem but deliberately ignored it. The statements from the investigation were a huge setback for NASA and affected its reputation. However, reputation wasn't the only consequence NASA dealt with. The retirement of the Space Shuttle program made Russia the only player in the global space market to provide ISS transportation. On the contrary, it opened the gateway to commercial opportunities for the transportation of cargo and astronauts to low Earth orbit. During this time, SpaceX was in its fledgling state, struggling to grasp all possible opportunities that could help it in achieving the mission of the company. Anne Hathaway, in her movie Interstellar, introduced the audience to a profound scientific principle stating, "Accident is the first building block of evolution." Thus, the Columbia spaceship disaster led to evolution under SpaceX. SpaceX progressed from initially transporting cargo in Falcon 9 rockets and Crew Dragon capsules to now transporting astronauts back into orbit. Spaceflight has been a privilege only for the rich countries. However, with SpaceX's new vision of reducing space transportation costs to enable the colonization of Mars, the world can see a different future. The first crew mission launched from the Kennedy Space Center on May 27, 2020, with 2 astronauts on board in a private partnership between SpaceX and NASA. It was the first mission after the retirement of the Space Shuttle in 2011. Later, followed by the second crew mission and now the third one on the 11th of November 2021, all 3 being launched on the same Falcon 9 booster. The third crew rotation mission boarded with NASA astronauts used a new Crew Dragon Endurance, which will steer close to ISS, where it will dock and begin its 6-month research mission on the biological processes, the impact of diet on astronaut health, and the testing of a smartphone video guidance sensor for guidance, navigation, and control of the Astro B free-flying robot. Despite the delay of SpaceX's plans by almost 4 years and the failed testing, NASA decided to rely on SpaceX for its transportation and now to provide the astronauts a cab service to the ISS, putting an end to the 9-year US's reliance on Russian rockets. Notwithstanding the common intent towards space travel of both the players, their ultimate objectives are still poles apart. While the government-owned company intends to make magnificent discoveries for mankind, the other wants to arrange for resources from other planets. Although it was necessary for NASA to partner up for its routine transportation after the Columbia disaster, the question of NASA choosing SpaceX over Blue Origin remains unanswered. Was it just a cheap bid for NASA, or were there other motives hidden in NASA's choice of SpaceX? Blue Origin is the only company at a comparable level of technological achievements to SpaceX. Yet there's one thing Blue Origin failed to master. Reusable rockets are a big USP that caused NASA to place its decision in favor of SpaceX instead of Blue Origin. Reusable equipment provides extensive space exploration that the world needs in 2021, which may be limited otherwise. Although it is hard to tell the exact figure as SpaceX is a private company, a deal with SpaceX saves NASA a lot of money, almost around $40 billion. Thus, the prospect of NASA and SpaceX is to build a lander to return astronauts to the lunar surface and further land on Mars. The two companies with their partnerships will write history once again. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Will the partnership yield benefits, or will the partisanship of each company overshadow the greater cause? Is it Make America Great Again, or NASA, or a collective benefit of mankind? Let us know what you think in the comment section down below.